The mountain was alive at night. Smoke breathed from its cracks, and the ground stayed warm even when snow fell around it. Everyone in the nearby cities knew the truth. This was the forbidden lair of the Dragon Queen. No human had ever entered. Eden lived. Especially no human child. The Dragon Queen ruled with fire and silence. Her wings could darken the sky, and her voice could shake stone. Long ago, humans tried to steal dragon eggs. Since that day, her law was clear. No humans. No mercy. No exceptions. At the edge of the mountain lived a quiet man named Iran. He was a janitor, not a soldier, not a hero. Every night, he cleaned the outer halls of the mountain where dragon guards passed through. He swept ash. He carried broken chains. He wiped claw marks from stone. Dragons barely noticed him. Some mocked him. Most ignored him. Iran never spoke. Back, he only bowed his head and worked. Iran had 2 daughters, Lena and Mira. They were twins, small, thin, and curious. Their eyes were always full of questions. They lived in a tiny shelter near the mountain path. Iran told them the same rule every day. Never come near the lair, he said. Never follow me, he said. Never speak to dragons, he said. The girls nodded. They always nodded. But children listened with their hearts, not just their ears. That night, the wind was strong. The sky glowed red from the mountain fire. Iran kissed his daughters on their heads and walked toward the lair with his broom and bucket. He did not see the 2 small shadows follow him from a distance. Inside the outer tunnel, dragons moved like living walls. Their scales glowed. Their eyes watched everything. Iran cleaned quietly, his hands shaking as always. He felt something was wrong. The air felt tense. Heavy. Then it happened. A sharp dragon cry echoed through the tunnel. Humans! A guard roared. Iran turned. A sharp dragon cried, HFY. A sharp dragon cry echoed through the tunnel. Humans! A guard roared. Iran turned. His heart dropped. Standing near a stone pillar were Lena and Mira. They were holding hands. Their faces were pale. But they were not crying. No, Iran whispered. Please no. Dragon guards surrounded the girls in seconds. Fire burned in their throats. One step closer and the twins would be ash. The ground began to shake. The Dragon Queen arrived. She stepped into the tunnel, her massive form filling the space. Her crown of horns scraped the ceiling. Her eyes locked onto the children. The air grew so hot that stone cracked. Who broke my law? She thundered. Iran fell to his knees. I did, he said, though his voice was barely sound. Spare them. Take my life instead. The queen did not look at him. Her gaze stayed on the twins, human children, inside her lair. The one thing she hated most. Children, she said slowly, do you know where you stand? Lena squeezed Mira's hand. Mira took a small step forward. Yes, Mira said. Dragons gasped. Humans never spoke to the queen. This is the dragon. Queen's home, Lena added softly. And she is very lonely. The tunnel went silent. Fire flickered in the queen's eyes. Lonely. No one had spoken that word to her in centuries. She lifted her claw, ready to strike. Iran closed his eyes. Then Mira spoke again. You lost someone, she said. That is why you made this rule. The Dragon Queen froze. The fire in her throat dimmed. For the first time, she looked uncertain. Dragons shifted uneasily. No magic filled the air. No spell was cast. Only a child's voice stood between life and death. The queen lowered her claw slightly. Enough, she said, but her voice was no longer full of fire. Iran opened his eyes in shock. The Dragon Queen leaned closer to the twins, her massive face inches from theirs. Speak one more word, she warned, and decide your fate. The twins did not run. They did not scream. They looked up at the Dragon Queen and spoke from the heart, and the entire lair held its breath. The silence after the twins' words felt heavier than fire. Even the dragons did not breathe. The Dragon Queen stood still, her vast shadow covering the tunnel. Her eyes burned, but the flame inside them wavered like a candle in wind. "Why are you not afraid?" she asked. Her voice was low now, dangerous in a quiet way. Fear usually broke humans before her fire ever did. Yet the twins stood close together, shaking, but still standing. Mira swallowed. "We are afraid," she said honestly. "But fear should not stop kind words." A dragon guard hissed in anger. "They mock you, my queen." "No," the queen replied. "They do not." She looked at Iran then, still kneeling on the stone floor. His shoulders trembled. He waited for death. He expected it. "You," the queen said. "Why do you serve here?" Iran raised his head slowly. "Because I must," he said. "Because someone has to clean the ashes left by old wars." The queen's eyes narrowed. "You choose to live among those who hate you." Iran nodded. "I choose to work. Work keeps my hands busy. Silence keeps my children alive." The queen turned back to the twins. "And you broke his rule," she said. "Why follow him?" Lena spoke this time. Her voice was soft but clear. "Because he always comes back tired. Because no one thanks him. Because we wanted to see what he gives his life to." The queen felt a strange pain in her chest. Long ago, she had given everything to protect her own kind. And no one had thanked her either. "Humans have betrayed us," the queen said. "They burned our nests. They stole our eggs. They laughed as we screamed." Mira nodded slowly. "Pain teaches hate," she said, "but it also teaches silence." "You chose silence for a long time," dragons growled. This was too much, too bold. The queen lifted her head. "And what do you know of my pain, little human?" Lena looked up into the queen's eyes. She did not look away. "You are strong," she said, "but strong hearts still break." The queen stepped back. Stone cracked under her claws. Memories rose like smoke. Lost hatchlings, empty nests, endless war. She had sealed her heart away and ruled with fire, so she would never feel that pain again. "Enough," she said again. But now it was not anger. It was fear. She turned to the guards. "Leave us." The dragon stared in disbelief. "My queen." "Leave," she commanded. One by one, the dragons withdrew. The tunnel grew quiet, lit only by the red glow of fire. Veins in the walls. The Dragon Queen sat down. The ground shook when she did. "Humans are weak," she said. "They beg, they lie, they break." Mira shook her head gently. "Some do," she said. "Some clean ashes." The queen looked at Iran again, the janitor who bowed to everyone. The man who never raised his voice. The man who stayed when others ran. "You risked your life for them," the queen said. "Yes," Iran replied. "Every day." The queen was silent for a long time. Then she spoke words no dragon had heard in centuries. "You may stay," she said. Iran gasped. "My queen?" "One night," the queen corrected. "At sunrise the council will judge." She looked at the twins. "Do not mistake mercy for weakness," Mira nodded. "We won't." The queen stood and turned away. "You will sleep near the fire chamber," she said, "where I can see you." As she walked deeper into the lair, her chest felt heavy. She did not understand why these children disturbed her so deeply. They carried no weapons, no magic, only truth. Behind her, Lena whispered to her sister, "She still hurts." The queen heard it. She stopped. That night, as fire roared softly through the mountain, the Dragon Queen did not sleep. And for the first time in many years, she wondered if her law had protected her or imprisoned her. Morning did not come easily to the lair. Light reached the mountain slowly, thin and weak, like it was afraid to enter. Inside the fire chamber, Lena and Mira sat close to the warm stone wall. They had not slept. Every sound made them tense. Every echo felt like danger. Iran stood nearby, holding his broom like a shield. He knew this place was not meant for humans. The air itself felt heavy, full of old anger and old loss. From the shadows eyes watched. Dragons moved silently along. The walls and ceilings. Some were large and scarred. Others were young and curious. None attacked. None spoke. The twins felt their stares, but they did not hide. Mira slowly stood and walked toward a crack in the stone where firelight glowed. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Iran hurried after her. "Don't touch anything," he warned. Mira nodded, but her eyes stayed on the glowing wall. Inside the stone, she felt something, a deep sadness. A slow pain, like a wound that never healed. Lena felt it too. "Can you feel that?" Lena asked. Mira nodded. "The mountain remembers." A low growl echoed behind them. An old dragon stepped forward. His scales were dark and cracked with age. One wing dragged slightly as he walked. "You should not be here," he said. His voice was rough, like stone breaking. "We know," Lena replied. "But we are." The old dragon studied them carefully. "You smell like fear," he said, "but also something else." "Hope?" Mira asked softly. The dragon frowned. Dragons did not like that word. "You humans think words fix everything," he said. "Words do not fix," Lena replied. "They open." The old dragon looked away. "You are strange children." He turned and walked deeper into the lair. The twins followed without thinking. Iran froze. "Girls, stop." But the old dragon raised his claw. "Let them," he said. "The queen will want to see this." They entered a hidden chamber. In the center lay a young dragon, barely moving. His wing was burned and torn. Chains lay broken nearby. "He was hurt by hunters," the old dragon said. "Humans." Mira knelt beside the young dragon. Fear shook her hands, but she did not pull away. "He's scared," she whispered. Lena placed her small hand on the stone near the dragon, not touching him. "You're safe now," she said. The young dragon's breathing slowed. The old dragon stared in shock. No spell, no force. Just a child's calm voice. "They listen," the old dragon muttered. "Yes," Myra said, "because pain sounds the same in every heart." The dragon closed his eyes. Footsteps shook the chamber. The dragon queen entered. Her eyes moved from the injured dragon to the twins. "You disobeyed," she said coldly. "We followed," Lena replied. "He needed help." The queen looked at the young dragon's steady breathing. She felt anger rise. Humans again. Always humans, but something stopped her. The old dragon bowed his head. "They eased his pain, my queen." The queen said nothing. She looked at Iran. "Did you teach them this?" Iran shook his head. "I taught them to listen." The queen turned back to the twins. "Why do you care for our wounds?" she asked. "Your kind caused them." Mira stood slowly. "We did not choose that," she said. "But we can choose this." The queen felt a deep pull inside her chest. Long ago she had made the same choice. Before fire ruled her heart, an ancient voice echoed through the chamber, star-marked. It said, "A massive dragon spirit formed in the firelight, older than the mountain itself." The twins did not run. "The bridge returns," the spirit said. "When words heal what fire cannot." The dragon queen stepped back. A prophecy she had tried to forget now stood before her in human form. She looked at the twins with new eyes. At sunrise, they would face judgment. But the lair was already changing. The council hall was carved from black stone and fire. Tall pillars rose like frozen flames, and ancient symbols burned faintly along the walls. This was the place where laws were made and broken. No human had ever stood here before. Lena and Mira stood in the center of the hall. They looked small. Very small. Iran stood behind them, his head low. He felt every dragon stare like a weight on his back. Around them, the dragon council gathered. Some were massive and scarred. Others were young and sharp-eyed. All were angry. At the highest seat sat the Dragon Queen. "Begin," she said. An elder dragon stepped forward. His scales were silver, cracked with age. "These children broke our oldest law," he said. "Human blood does not belong in the lair." A low growl moved through the hall. Another dragon spoke. "They touched our wounded. They walked our hidden paths." "They spoke to the queen without fear," a third added. "That alone is a crime." Iran fell to his knees. "Punish me," he begged. "Not them." "Silence," the silver elder snapped. The Dragon Queen raised one claw. The hall quieted. "These children will face the trial of fire," she declared. A shock ran through the room. The trial of fire was ancient. It was never meant for humans. Even dragons feared it. Lena's hand tightened around Myra's. "What is the trial?" Myra asked. The queen's eyes burned. "Fire reveals truth," she said. "If your hearts lie, fire will consume you." The twins nodded. They did not understand fully, but they understood enough. The floor of the hall split open. Fire rose, controlled and alive. A circle of flame formed around the twins. Iran cried out, "Please." The queen did not look at him. "Step forward." She commanded. Lena and Myra stepped into the fire. Dragons leaned forward. Some watched with anger. Some with doubt. Some with secret hope. They did not speak. The fire touched the twins' feet. It did not burn. A murmur spread through the hall. The flames rose higher, curling around their bodies. Heat filled the room. Myra closed her eyes. "We are not here to take," she said. "We are here to return what was lost." The fire flickered. Lena spoke next. "You lost trust," she said. "Not just children." The flames softened. The Dragon Queen's breath caught. These were the words she had buried. "Under centuries of rage, humans bring only destruction," the Silver Elder growled. Lena looked at him. "So does grief," she said. The fire stopped rising. Dragons gasped. The flames lowered, bowing like they recognized something greater than force. The twins stood untouched. The trial of fire had never done this. The queen rose slowly from her throne. Her voice shook, though she tried to hide it. "Why does fire obey you?" she asked. Myra opened her eyes. "Because we don't fight it," she said. "We listen." Silence fell again. Then a sharp roar broke it. Enemy fire exploded through the far wall. Stone shattered. Smoke filled the hall. "Raiders!" A guard shouted. Dark-scaled dragons poured in, eyes burning with hunger. Old enemies. Fire thieves. They laughed when they saw the twins. "The queen has grown weak," one snarled. "She lets humans walk her halls." The Dragon Queen spread her wings. "You dare!" she roared. The enemy leader pointed at the twins. "Prove it," he said. "Burn them." The queen froze. Every dragon watched her. Iran stepped forward, placing himself in front of his daughters. His hands shook, but he did not move. "I will burn first," he said. The queen felt something crack inside her. This human did not beg. He stood. The Dragon Queen raised her head. "No," she said. Fire exploded from her wings. The battle had begun, and the fate of two worlds hung in the flames. Fire and shadow filled the council hall. The clash between dragons shook the mountain. Stone cracked under claws. Flames collided in the air, lighting the chamber like a burning sky. Lena and Myra stood frozen as war broke out around them. "Stay behind me," Iran said, spreading his arms wide. Enemy dragons rushed forward, their eyes wild with rage. They laughed at the sight of a thin human janitor standing in their way. "You think you can stop us?" One mocked. Iran did not answer. He did not know how to fight. He had no weapon. But he stood firm. A blast of fire rushed toward them. Before it could reach the twins, a massive shadow moved. The Dragon Queen landed in front of them, wings wide, shielding the humans. Fire crashed against her scales and faded. The hall fell silent. For a heartbeat, she had chosen. "Protect the children," the queen roared. "Anyone who harms them answers to me." Her command echoed through the lair. Dragons of the council surged forward, joining the fight. Fire clashed with fire. The enemy did not expect this unity. Lena felt her chest tighten. "She chose us," she whispered. Myra nodded. "She chose him too." The battle pushed deeper into the tunnels. Smoke thickened the air. Dragons screamed. The mountain trembled as if alive. Suddenly, a dark-scaled enemy dragon broke through the line. Faster, smarter. His eyes locked on the twins. "No more words," he hissed. "Only ashes." He charged. Iran stepped forward again. "Run," he told the girls. They did not move. The dragon inhaled deeply. Then Iran raised his broom. It was old, broken, but it was all he had. "Stop," Iran said. The dragon laughed, but the fire never came. Roar of fury shook the tunnel. The dragon queen crashed into the enemy dragon, slamming him into the wall. Stone shattered. The enemy fell. Stunned. The queen stood over him, eyes blazing. "These humans are under my protection," she said. "And so is their father." She turned to Iran. "You," she said, "why did you not run?" Iran swallowed. "Because someone had to stand." The queen stared at him. "Not as a servant, not as a burden, but as something else. As an equal in courage." The remaining enemy dragons began to retreat. Their leader roared in anger, but fear filled his eyes. "This lair is no longer weak," he snarled. "We will return." They fled into the smoke. Silence followed. Fire dimmed. The hall was broken, but standing. The dragon queen slowly folded her wings. She looked at the twins, then at Iran. "You have no power," she said. "No fire, no scales." Iran nodded. "I know." "And yet," she continued, "you stood before death without anger." Lena spoke softly. "That is his strength." The queen felt something she had not felt in a long time. Respect. She turned to the council. "This human is no janitor," she said. "He is a guardian." Murmurs spread through the hall. Iran's eyes widened. "My queen, Silence," she said gently. "You have cleaned our ashes for years. You have carried our shame without complaint." She looked at the twins. "And you two have done what fire could not." The ancient dragon spirit appeared again in the firelight. "The bridge is forged," it said, "by humility, by courage." The queen bowed her head. At sunrise, she would make a choice that would change her kind forever. But first, she placed one claw gently on the stone before Iran and his daughters. "You are no longer invisible," she said. And the lair listened. The mountain did not sleep after the battle. Smoke drifted through the broken tunnels, and the smell of burned stone filled the air. Dragons moved quietly, tending to the wounded. The lair was alive but changed. Lena and Mira sat beside a warm fire. Vain, their legs pulled close. Iran stood near them, still shaking from everything that had happened. He had faced death many times in silence, but never like this. The Dragon Queen watched them from a high ledge. For centuries, she had ruled with fear. Fear kept enemies away. Fear kept pain locked inside. But tonight, fear had failed her. And something else had risen in its place. Courage. She descended slowly, each step heavy with thought. "Walk with me," she said to Iran. He hesitated, then nodded. The twins followed close behind. They moved through halls few dragons ever entered. Ancient paths, old scars and stone, places where history slept. "You know," the queen said, "why humans were banned." "Yes," Iran replied, "because of what they did." "Because of what we all did," she corrected. "War makes monsters of everyone." They stopped before a massive door of black iron. Behind it lay the heart of the lair. "This is where my hatchlings once slept," the queen said quietly. Lena felt tears fill her eyes. "It still hurts," she whispered. The queen did not deny it. Suddenly, a horn echoed through the tunnels. A warning. Scouts rushed forward. "Enemy movement," one shouted. "Not dragons." The queen's eyes narrowed. "Hunters," she said. "Humans, armed, organized, coming for trophies and fire." "They track the battle," Iran said. "They follow chaos." The queen turned sharply. "Then we fight." Iran stepped forward. "No," he said. Dragons froze. "You will lose more children," Iran continued. "And they will lose nothing they care about." The queen stared at him. No one spoke to her like this. Mira stepped beside her father. "Let us talk," she said. "To hunters," a dragon scoffed. "They will kill you." Mira shook her head. "They listen to power," she said. "And you are power," the queen understood. She spread her wings and rose into the air. Flames lit the tunnels as dragons. Followed, at the mountain entrance, torches and weapons glinted in the dark. Hunters shouted when they saw her. "Dragon Queen," one yelled. "We claim your lair." The queen's voice thundered across the mountain. "Leave," she commanded. The hunters laughed. Then Lena stepped forward, standing beside the Dragon Queen. "You came for monsters," Lena said, "but you became them." Silence fell. The hunters hesitated. Mira added, "You will be remembered for what you choose today." The queen raised her wings, fire gathered, ready. Iran stood between both sides. "This ends now," he said. "No more stealing. No more burning." The hunters looked at the dragons, at the children, at the fire. They dropped their weapons. One by one, they ran. The mountain exhaled. The Dragon Queen looked down at Iran and his daughters. "You ended a war without fire," she said. She turned to her dragons. "From this day," she declared, "humans who come with peace will not be met with flame." Gasps echoed. "This lair will no longer be a prison," she continued. "It will be a bridge." The ancient spirit appeared once more, glowing bright. "The choice is made," it said. "The future turns." The Dragon Queen looked at the twins. "At sunrise," she said softly, "the world will change." And for the first time, hope burned brighter than fire. Sunrise came slowly to the mountain. Light spilled over the broken peaks and touched the lair with soft gold. For the first time in centuries, the fire inside the mountain felt calm. The war was over. The fear was quiet. Dragons gathered in the great hall, not in anger, not in judgment. They came to witness a choice. Lena and Mira stood beside their father. Iran wore the same worn clothes. His hands were still rough from years of cleaning ash, but his back was straight now. He no longer tried to look invisible. The Dragon Queen stepped forward. Her wings were folded. Her fire burned low and steady. She looked at her people, then at the humans who had changed her world. "For generations," she began, "we ruled by law made from pain. We believed fire would protect us." She paused. "Fire protected our bodies," she said, "but it trapped our hearts." A deep silence filled the hall. She turned to the twins. "These children entered my lair without weapons," she said. "They did not challenge my power. They reminded me of it." The silver elder dragon stepped forward. "What is your will?" "My queen." The Dragon Queen lifted her head. "From this sunrise," she declared, "the ancient law is broken." Gasps echoed through the hall. "No human child will be burned for entering this lair," she continued. "No human who comes with peace will be hunted." She turned to Iran. "This human cleaned our ashes for years," she said. "We called him nothing, but he stood when fire came." She lowered her massive head before him. Dragons froze. "My queen!" someone cried. "I bow," she said. "To courage without claws." Iran fell to his knees in shock. "Please," he said, "I am only a father." The queen smiled faintly. That is why you are strong." She raised one claw and touched the stone before Lena and Mira. "These twins will be known as the bridges of fire and flesh," she said. "They will speak where fire once ruled." The ancient dragon spirit appeared in the rising light. "The cycle is broken," it said. "The bridge stands." Dragons bowed. One by one, the mountain itself seemed to breathe easier. Lena looked up at the queen. "Will you still be strong?" she asked gently. The queen met her eyes. "Stronger," she said, "because I will not be alone." Iran and his daughters were given a place near the heart of the lair, not as servants, not as prisoners. As family, as past, humans came carefully, dragons watched closely. Fear faded, slowly. Stories spread beyond the mountain. Of a janitor who stood before fire, of children whose words stopped wars, of a dragon queen who chose mercy over rage. One evening, as the sun set, the queen stood with Lena and Mira at the mountain edge. "You changed us," she said. Mira shook her head. "You chose." The queen looked toward the world beyond the mountain. "Let them remember this day," she said, "not as the day dragons burned humans, but as the day we stood together." The fire in the mountain glowed warm, not wild, and the forbidden lair was forbidden no more.